gonna really suck to edit. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa and today I've got a book haul. I've been accumulating books for a few months that I've never shown off, and I thought, you know, why not? And as you can see, my shelves are in a bit of disarray, so we love that. And I kind of know which months I got them, kind of don't. I keep track in my reading journal, but I'm not keeping track here. This is from like June to October. Not as much as some people, I'm sure, in, you know, 4 or 5 months. It's a lot for me. The funny thing is that most of these are from my owl crate, so you might have seen these already, but I'm really excited to share them with you. I've never done a haul, so yay me. This sweater is like the comfiest thing I own, and I'm living. I forgot I own this, and then I busted out my winter clothes, and I was like, oh yeah, that sweater. So yes, let's get started because we're gonna be here for a hot minute. The first book I have to show you is Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron, and I'm really excited for this book. I'm excited for all these. That's why I bought them. Duh. This is about a girl named Ara who is born into a family of witch doctors, but unfortunately she has no magic. So when she makes kind of a bad deal and trades her years for magic, it just kind of goes downhill. I hear this book is actually really scary. It's got demon children and it's huge, and I'm really excited for this one. My only complaint is I'm not a huge fan of this cover. There's just, I don't know why. I love the UK edition. It's gorgeous. I wish I had that one, but hey, if I like this enough, maybe I'll buy it. So the next one I actually got from a friend. She was getting rid of some books, so I said, yes, please. So I took them, and it is The Land of Stories Volume 1, or Book 1. I said volume, like, who am I? This is about 2 kids who get a fairy tale storybook and end up in this weird world called the Land of Stories, and they find out that all the fairy tales are real. I love a good fantasy middle grade. I especially love when they take place in different worlds, or it starts in the real world and goes somewhere else. It kind of gives me like the Spiderwick Chronicles vibes mixed with like the Sisters Grimm, like that vibe. I've never read this author, but I did watch him in Glee. Alright, next we have The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning, and I bought this because, one, this cover. I love Charlie Bowater's art, and anything that happens to have her artwork on it, I'm very intrigued. This is about a girl who, when her father dies, she has to marry a prince or king from a land nearby or give up the crown. And she kind of has already fallen in love with a really cute stable boy. And she decides that she doesn't want to do either of those things, and instead she wants to follow her heart. But then the stable boy gets kidnapped, and she has to go save him. I love these kind of stories where the girl has to go on an adventure to save her romantic interest, and I wish there was more like that. So I think that that's really powerful and really cool to read about. Maybe it's just me. And I hear this is like kind of a twist and inspiration from The Princess Bride, and I love that movie. I haven't read the book. I'm really excited for this one. This one's gonna have to get read soon because it just, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I need to read this now. That's my entire shelf, to be fair. This one I actually just got a couple days ago, and it is Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. I have been getting back into the Raven Boys. I listened to the first one on audiobook and re-listened to it not too long ago, so I'm doing a reread, and this will be right after. As far as I know, this is about Ronan and another character who's new to the universe of the Raven Cycle, and I think they're both dreamers, and then there's some guy hunting them, and Ronan and his new friend need to stop him, but also like deal with their abilities. That's as far as I'm guessing. I read the synopsis, I swear. I am so excited for this one. I love Ronan. I've been eyeballing this book for a while, but since I can't remember what happened in the last 2 books, hadn't bought it. I decided that I'm gonna do my reread, and then I'm gonna pick this up. So I had to buy it. Next up is my Owl Crate edition of Legendborn by Tracy Deon, and I'm really excited for this one. I'm ironically though not a huge fan of like King Arthur retellings, but this kind of sounds like a continuation of the story. so I think it could be really good. This follows our main character, Bree, who after a tragic accident involving her mom, she kind of is lost in life and doesn't quite know where she stands, but one day after like encountering some demons and people who fight demons, she finds out she is a Legendborn, one of the descendants of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. And it kind of follows her journey through grief and figuring out her power, and of course making new friends and possible love interests. I am really pumped to read this. Like, even though I'm not huge on King Arthur retellings, I tried to read the Guinevere Deception a few months ago and I just couldn't get into it because King Arthur's just kind of like, you know, I think they romanticize it a bit too much. So I'm hoping that this like breaks the mold and I actually really enjoy this. Okay, so next I have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Everyone and their mom has read this already except me. I plan to in November. This follows a girl named Addie LaRue who makes a deal with like some bad spirits or something and ends up being forgettable. Everybody who encounters her forgets her, and unfortunately that's just kind of her life now, so she's lived hundreds of years dealing with this until one day somebody actually does remember her. I am so excited for this book. I have been itching to read this, so that's why it's on my November TBR. But I'm really, really excited. I can't wait. V.E. Schwab's writing is just so pretty and nice, and while it's pretty, it also makes sense. Definitely glad I have this, so yay. Next up, I have the Owl Crate edition of Horrid by Katrina Leno. I'm actually planning on doing a 24-hour reading Halloween vlog featuring this book, so stay tuned. This is about a girl named Jane who, after her father's death, her and her mom, they go move back to Maine and live in this old house that I guess used to be her grandfather's or her somebody's. It's got a dark history, dark past, and there may or may not be some ghosts. I can't wait to read this. I love a good ghost story. I love watching like ghost hunting videos because they crack me up, because you can always like tell, yeah, you're just fibbing us, and it's like one of my guilty pleasures. I'm really excited to actually read about it. I hope to get scared because it's Halloween. Also, can we just appreciate this cover? The original, I believe, has like black roses. I prefer the red. That's just me. So the next one I purchased on my own, and I'm really excited about it, and that is Peace in Turmoil by Elliot Brooks, who is a booktuber whose channel I will link below. She's easily one of my favorites. She's so down to earth, honest. Her sense of humor is so on point, and I really like her stuff. So I bought her book. I'm not gonna lie, I've read the synopsis and I have no idea what's going on, but I think that's a good thing because I tend to, especially with fantasy, especially like adult fantasy, I try not to read the synopsis or the back of the book because I want to go into it blind and just be surprised for myself and kind of enjoy the experience without the expectations. Can we just take a hot second to appreciate the fact that she put her own artwork in this? This has always been a dream of mine, to write a book and put artwork in it, and she did it, and I'm just like, it can be done and not seem silly. So kudos to her. So excited to read this. I probably will either pick this up in December or January, because it feels like it would be a good wintry read. Don't know why. Just the vibe I'm getting. The next book that I literally just got a few days ago, Hollowpox by Jessica Townsend. Can you tell I'm really excited about this? This is the third book in the Nevermore series, or the Trials of Morgan Crow series. I don't know what the series is called. This is book 3, and I'm really excited for it. I can't believe it's here. I feel like it's been forever since I read the other two. I've got to read a recap, but we will get there. First one follows a girl named Morgan Crow who on her 11th birthday is destined to die, but instead of doing that, because there's 3 books, she is taken away to a magical world called Nevermore by a strange character named Jupiter North, and there she has to compete in trials and competitions and tests, I guess, to get into the Wondrous Society. And to do that, you have to have a special talent, gift, or magical ability. Well, Morgan has none of those that she knows of, so she's a little confused as to why she's here. This series is just so much fun. It's adventurous. There's so many funny moments. The humor in this is so well done, and I love all the characters, so that also helps. There's a giant talking cat, and there's a hotel that's constantly like changing rooms, and it's floor plan, and it's just so well done. A lot of people have compared this to Harry Potter, and while I can see there's definitely some elements to that, it really just holds its own. And honestly, it's better. Sorry, but it's true. So happy to have this. So glad I pre-ordered it. Cannot wait to start this. I'm pumped. Alright, and next I have my Owl Crate edition of Star Daughter by Shveta Thakara. Probably saying that wrong. Okay, so I think this book is kind of following Hindu mythology, and our main character is kind of like part human, part star, I guess. And eventually she has to go into a competition. I read the synopsis. I have no idea. I'm just not good at this. This is such a pretty edition. I mean, come on, come on. And even like, no, that was disappointing. Never mind. I have heard really good things about this. I love this cover. I can't wait to read this. Again, like everything I can't wait to read, but this one's pretty too, so that's definitely going for it. The next one is a classic that I picked up to finish my classic set, which you might see somewhere up there, and that is The Little Princess by Frances Hodge Burnet, and this is the Puffin Bloom editions, which I adore. They're so pretty, so detailed, and yet so simple in a weird way. They're just like aesthetic goals. I believe this is about a girl who was a princess and now she's an orphan in a terrible orphanage, and then she gets adopted, I think. I don't know much about classics, but I do want to read it, and I hear it's really good. And there's a movie, or like 4 movies to go with it, like 4 different versions. Also, the end pages are gorgeous. They're so cool. I literally bought them because I thought they were pretty, and now I have the whole set. So the next Owl Crate edition I have is The Goddess in the Machine by Lora Beth Johnson. This is a sci-fi, so it looks like she's been in a sleep for a hot minute. She like lands somewhere on a planet and they think she's a goddess, and then there's a prince and a vicious monarch. Descriptions by me. Also, the edges are gold, which is just so stunning. I don't read a whole lot of sci-fi, but I think with how short this is and just from the description alone, it sounds really exciting and really interesting. So the next one I have is another Owl Crate book. Actually, the next 2 are Owl Crates as well, and that is Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angeles. This edition is so pretty. There's no dust jacket. It's just all on the cover, which is just so stunning. The end pages are pretty. It's signed. It's just, oh, it's so pretty. I really love this edition, and I have yet to read any circus books. I have yet to read Caraval behind me. I have yet to read The Night Circus. Only downside to this edition is there's no description of the book, so I don't know what it's about. I know it's about circuses. Maybe she's got some magic powers. Yep. So the next book I have is Incendiary by Zorida Cordova. To be frank, I prefer the original cover. This is pretty, but I miss seeing like the floating girl on top, because I'm all about those drawn people covers. They make me happy. This is about a girl who is kidnapped by a warring kingdom, like the opposite end of the kingdom, and she ends up becoming like a spy, I think, and trying to take down the kingdom that kidnapped her, I think. Again, bad with this. Really bad at this. Like, tremendously bad at this. I definitely need to read some more young adult fantasy. All of these books I have not read. I am really bad about getting to my Owl Crate books, and I need to read more young adult fantasy again. I've been kind of slacking on that, and maybe this is one I'll have to pick up soon, because that actually does sound like really good. You came for the books, but you got the mess. So the next one I bought, and this is Forged in Fire and Stars by Andrea Robertson. I haven't seen anybody talk about this, to be completely honest. I think maybe Peruse Project, Reagan, she did like a long time ago, and I don't remember what she said about it. And I see no one else talking about this. So this follows a girl who's a blacksmith, and one day she is taken by the prince and princess of the kingdom to become a lore smith or something, but unfortunately it ends up being a journey to find out her past and her family history, and it's a hot mess, I guess. hence the fire. Hot. This sounds really intriguing. I've never read a book where the main character is a blacksmith, and I think it could be really entertaining. It's pretty short, and you know, it's another young adult fantasy I've yet to read. Here we are. So taking back from my previous statement about none of these books I've read, that was a lie, because 2 of these I'm in the middle of, and that is Out of My Mind, first off, by Sharon M. Draper. This is about a girl named Melody who has severe cerebral palsy. She can't walk, talk, eat on her own, or anything. She's wheelchair bound, but she's very intelligent, and she wants the world to know she's intelligent, but unfortunately she can't. Until one day she gets a computer that helps her talk, and it turns out that she's got a lot to say, and some of it may not be what people want to hear. I will definitely be talking about this more in my November wrap-up, but I am so excited, and it's so good, it's so heartwarming, and just, this is a book that everyone should read, because it's very eye-opening, and it's very interesting, and really funny. I did not realize this, because there's no picture of her on the back of the author, so I looked it up. Sharon M. Draper is an author of color. I did not know that, and I am glad that I know that now. And lastly, finally, we are on to Egg and Spoon by Gregory Maguire. This is another book club book that we're reading this month. We'll be done with in November. Thank God. Again, more thoughts later on. This is about 2 girls who live in Russia, and I'm not entirely sure what time period is. I don't think it's specified. But unfortunately, a tragic thing happens where they switch places, one falling into a life of poverty, the other one getting elevated to social status and money. Completely on accident. And their stories kind of go in different directions, and then eventually are gonna meet up, I'm imagining. Hoping. There's also the character Baba Yaga in this book, who is like the shining star of this book, comic relief, and if she wasn't in this book, I would hate it. Again, more thoughts in November, but I bought this for book club. The cover's really pretty, and the concept's really interesting, but unfortunately it's kind of just falling short. I'm not even going to attempt to hold all those up. 1, for the sake of the books, 2, for my sanity, and 3, for my toes. So there you have it. That is the book haul of the ages from the last several months, because I did not have a book channel till like July or August or something. I think July. So yeah, those are all the books from the last few months. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye-bye!